You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. Be sure to smash that like button. Today was really, really fun for me. I have not been able to go to an LSU football practice since Les Miles was the coach. No, that's not because I was banned. I know you're thinking it. Under Ed Ogeron, the media availability at practice was always in the afternoon, and I'm always on air. So under Les Miles, when they would go through fall camp, there would be usually split practices, and that's when 2 days were still allowed, but they would largely, especially early in camp, split freshmen and then select veterans, and then a veteran practice in the afternoon, or however they would do it. So I got to go to practice today literally for the first time in like 5 years. So it was cool to be out there to give you my own observations instead of having to solely rely on other people, telling me what they saw, which I always appreciate. Please don't misunderstand. It's just I can tell you my thoughts based on what I actually saw today. So the first thing before we talk about any position battles or anything like that, first and foremost, the organization is incredible. And it's not to say in the past things weren't organized. It was just different. But the way that Brian Kelly and his staff have structured practice is such that they are going to maximize what they do in a smaller amount of time. And it is so obvious there is no waste of time and everything's thought out. I'll give you an example. When they were in individual drills, the corners, safeties, linebackers, defensive line had 4 stations set up in 4 corners of a field. And for each period, you are working at that station. Robert Steeples is running one. Jamar Cain is running another. Matt House is basically going around all the different stations. And you are maximizing time. If it's crossing, head in front of body, working on tackling, if it's dummies, if it's shoot drills, whatever it is, and then horn sounds, and boom, it's like ants marching to the next station, and they go. Specialists were working on their own field. I mean, there was no waste of time. And I thought it was pretty cool also. Early in practice, they had music piped through. You want to keep the mood good and lively, and guys kind of chipper. I mean, they were bumping during practice, which was actually really cool. We did get to see the quarterbacks work on zone handoffs and zone passes with the running backs. We did get to see the quarterbacks throw with receivers as well. And we got to see the quarterbacks run a little bit also. So this is what everybody's going to want to ask about, obviously, is the quarterbacks. Right now, Garrett Nussmeier is running with the first team. Somebody has to be the one, right? Someone has to be first. Someone's got to go first. It doesn't necessarily mean that's how it's going to be when the first snap of the first game is taken, but they got to start somewhere. And it's very, very clear right now because every drill they did today, Garrett Nussmeier went first. Not only on the drills where the quarterbacks were working on the side, throwing to GAs, not on the drills when quarterbacks were throwing with receivers, when quarterbacks were handing off to running backs, Garrett Nussmeier went first. The order was Garrett Nussmeier, Jaden Daniels, Miles Brennan, and then Walker Howard, who I think we all understand is likely going to redshirt this year. Again, that doesn't mean that's how it's going to be in the season opener, but it's how it is now. And I think that makes it pretty clear that Miles Brennan has a lot of work to do if he's going to get in the mix here to be the starter. He'll have time. They'll have scrimmages throughout fall camp. They'll have the remainder of fall camp and practices, and unfortunately, knock on wood, nobody wants to see it happen, but injuries do happen. But if you're in the camp, and I've basically split LSU fans into 2 camps. You have the people that are hoping Miles Brennan gets sort of the storybook ending in his 6th and final season, and then the people that are intoxicated by Garrett Nussmeier and the potential. I'll tell you, Nussmeier looks bigger out there. I mean, it's pretty natural to expect, right? If you're a guy who goes from 18 to 19, 19 to 20, in a full year into a strength and conditioning program, Nussmeier looks bigger. He looks fuller. He's 6'2". Standing next to guys like Daniels and Brennan, who are 6'4", 6'5", he looks smaller next to them, but he looks bigger than he did a year ago, which is, I think, a great sign. Mike Denbrock did talk today about working with Jaden Daniels with accuracy. We did get to see them running zone plays where they would either give or fake the handoff, step back, and throw crossing patterns over the middle. And I thought the accuracy, all the quarterbacks were notable, especially Daniels, because that was such a conversation in the offseason. Aside from the quarterbacks, I'll tell you, it was interesting to me to see Noah Cain primarily repping as the first running back in line. So there was a point where they were working on goal line drills, and you could hear Mike Denbrock yell, "Give me the ones, give me the ones." And so the first line ran out there, Garrett Nussmeier ran out there, and the first running back out there was Noah Cain. I'm not saying that that's a commentary on John Emery, I don't know, but the first running back that went out there when they said, "Give me the ones," was Noah Cain. And when they said, "Give me the twos," it was Armani Goodwin. And John Emery was at practice. So maybe that's just him having to earn it or whatever the case may be if you want to read too much into it. But I think what it tells you is all three of those guys are going to play. They're all going to play. And they all rep differently. And I think John Emery is going to be the starter. And it's going to happen that way. But maybe just how they're cycling through the running back reps right now. I thought as far as the offensive line, so your first offensive line as of right now, and for me, I think this is by far the most gigantic question on this team right now. And I don't even think there's a close second, and it's the offensive line. There's one given that I'm willing to say today, and that's that Will Campbell's going to be the left tackle against Florida State. That's the one thing I'll say with certainty is going to happen. The fact that you've got so many guys that have been around for so long and nobody has solidified a job is very concerning. But your first offensive line today was Will Campbell at left tackle, so left to right. Will Campbell, Tremont Shorts, the transfer from East Tennessee State, was left guard. Your starting center today, your first center was Garrett Dellinger. And the third snap that he did in the goal line drill we got to see, he rolled it back to Jaden Daniels. The shotgun snap it's paramount. So they're working on guys who haven't done this before to try to figure that out. So Dellinger was your center. The other transfer, Miles Frazier, was your right guard, and then Anthony Bradford was your right tackle. So that was your first offensive line. Your second offensive line, left to right, they had you know what? I got to be honest with you. I got to pull up the damn roster because I'm not exactly sure. I wrote down jersey numbers, and I'm not sure who they had at left tackle. Emory Jones was at left guard. The freshman out of Catholic High was your second team left guard. Your second team center was Fitzgerald West. And that's notable because Charles Turner has been sort of the veteran there that we were kind of hoping would take that job. And you had a true freshman who's converting from defensive line to play center, running second behind Garrett Dellinger. I mean, it's two guys that have never played the position are now repping ahead of Charles Turner at center, and that's concerning. Marcus Dumerville, was the left tackle. So it went Dumerville left tackle, Emory Jones left guard, Fitzgerald West at center, Cardell Thomas was your second team right guard, and then Cam Wire was your second team right tackle. That's how they repped it today anyway with the first and the second teams. Jack Besh and Chris Hilton were riding the stationary bike during the period we saw. Did not see Jeray Jenkins out there. Also did not see Jordan Tolles or Jark Bernard-Converse there. Just a couple other things of note. B.J. Ojolari is now wearing number 18. He was working with the linebackers this morning during the individual periods that we got to see. And it appears as though Desmond Little has changed his jersey number. He was number 58 or 50. I think he was 59. He's now changed number 8. Dude's like 6'5". He's a 6'5" linebacker. He's an incredible specimen to behold. But Desmond Little's now wearing number 8 on the defensive side of the ball. And I always tell you all that there's always a freshman when you go out there and you get the first look at that freshman and it pops and it's like, oh my God, who is that? Everybody is looking at Harold Perkins, the 5-star linebacker, and rightfully so. At 220 pounds, he looks the part. But I'll tell you, the other guy who is on the all-airport team is Quincy Wiggins. It's my first time getting to see him at practice. He wears number 93. He's playing defensive end. He looks like Danielle Hunter already. I mean, he is an Adonis. Looks like an alien. But, how quickly can you get up to speed to play against SEC level offensive linemen? That'll determine it. But that's a guy who looks the part already. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.